Hey my friends, welcome to the 60-minute roll and release class. Today's intention will be to increase our body awareness. So we're going to target certain areas of the body and we'll do some exercises in between so you can see how this myofascial release helps with our functional mobility and our movements. So you can see that what we're doing is having an effect, a good effect on the body, and to increase the body awareness as well, because we're not so aware of our body, especially there's some neglected areas or areas that are harder to reach, and often when we sit or stand, our usual postures or the way we work or play sports and move, we can often move in the wrong way or overcompensate in certain areas or avoid injuries, and then we manifest physical problems rather than getting them at an early stage. So with this increased body awareness, we can start to see the little niggly signs of something isn't quite right in the body, and then we can start to make adjustments to our posture or the way we move. And this roll and release class will be perfect for that, for exploring the body. So there's a lot of the body to explore, so we won't get it all done in one class, but I'll try and get a bit of an overview, and there'll be a few areas that we concentrate on. So today's class will need a block and a soft ball, so like a tennis ball for the more sensitive areas, and then a firm rubber ball as well. So pause the video, grab your pops and join me back on the mat. So today we'll start off lying down and we'll close our eyes. So just find a comfortable lying down position, arms by your side, and just close down your eyes. And we'll just have a quick scan of the body. Just notice how your body feels. You can start to slow the breath down if you wish. Just take a few deeper breaths. Or just keep your breath at a natural rhythm. Whatever's comfortable for you. But just take your attention to your feet, the soles of your feet. Just notice what they feel like. Then slowly work your way up your calves, your hamstrings, your quadriceps. Do your lower legs feel tight? Do they feel achy? Do you have much sensation there at all? Are you quite sensitive with the legs, or are you not really sure what you can or can't feel? Is there any tightness, stiffness? And just slowly work up the body now, through the glutes, around your hips. What do you notice in this area? Do your hips and glutes feel relaxed? Do they feel tight and tense? Can you easily feel the sensations there? Then just move your awareness to your stomach, your chest and your back. Just notice what it feels like here. You don't need to go into any stories or label or judge anything. Just observe and be a witness. And just observe what it feels like, because as we move through the class today and we come to the end of the class, we'll do the same body scan. And we'll notice what differences we can see or feel, so we know that what we're doing is good and it's right. Just taking your attention to your shoulders, your arms all the way down to your hands, your neck, your head. So there's nothing to change, nothing to do. No stories to go into, no labels to attach to anything. Just take a mental note of how your body feels in the different areas. If you do feel tight in some areas, or sore, or achy, or you don't really feel any sensations at all. You can slowly begin to open your eyes, and we'll make our way up to a standing position on our mat. And bringing the firm rubber ball for this one and keeping your block close by. And we'll start off with our right foot. We'll place it underneath the ball of our right foot. So it's underneath our knuckles of our toes. And keeping our right heel on the ground here. And we can just slowly roll the ball across the ball of our foot. You can move slowly here. You might feel some crunching, some gristly bits moving. You can lean and put as much pressure on as you want. You can ease back and take some pressure off. If you feel like there's an area that you need to explore, you can stop there. And then we'll slowly move down the foot so you can roll the ball underneath the arch of your foot now. And keep moving side to side. You can take your foot so you're kind of going over the ball, or you can roll it. If you find a spot that you want to explore, you can hold the ball there and you can kind of just put some pressure on and try and release that area. You're welcome to keep moving the ball further towards your heel now. We're staying in the arch of your foot. You can have a bit more movement now, so you can start to move more forward and back. Again, this might feel a bit grisly and might feel a bit sticky in places. That's just the connective tissue, the outer sheathing over your muscles, your bones. Again, if there's any areas that you wish to stay and explore, and you can just move the ball around in that little area. There's no right or wrong here. Just if it doesn't feel good, and then don't do it, just ease off out of it. Or if you have some pain, just go around the pain, not directly onto it. And then from here we'll come onto the heel of the foot. So I find it more comfortable to place the ball of my foot on the floor and then press the heel on top of the ball. But I like to stand on a block just to raise me up, just so I'm not tiptoeing on one leg and I'm too wonky. And again here you can take your heel side to side. Just do whatever movement feels good for you. Again, if there's any areas that you wish to explore, just explore. The feet do a lot of work for us, carry us around all day, all our lives. And we often don't take care for them. We take care of a lot of the other body parts, but not so much of the feet. And they do a lot of the work for us. And the feet have a lot of connections around the body. There's a lot of nerves. And if you wish now, you can start to have a big movement around your foot. So where you have this triangle shape around the outside of your foot, your heel and your ball, you can move around in a clockwise or anti-clockwise movement all the way around if you wish. Again, try and go slow here. Just feeling the bottoms of your feet. Just feel some nice movement. If there's any areas that you wish to stay in, just move the ball backwards and forwards, or just pin and hold and put some pressure, you're welcome to. And just keep breathing naturally. And then go in the opposite direction. It should feel good. You shouldn't feel any pain or any discomfort. It should be a good discomfort. Okay, now just release your feet on the floor, hip width apart, and come to standing. And then just hinge at the hip, you can bend the knees slightly, and just forward fold. And just close your eyes. Now to take your attention between your right leg and your left leg, the soles of your feet, the backs of your calves, the backs of your hamstrings, and then going all the way up your back. So you have your spine in the middle of your back, then you have a set of muscles either side of your spine. Just notice if there's any difference between the right side of your spine and the left side of your spine, all the way up to your skull.
You may notice some different sensations. Your right hand side might feel freer, more open, more relaxed. Just inhale, just slowly bend your knees as you rise up, back to standing.
And that's because we have a connective tissue which goes from the sole of our right foot all the way back up the calf, the hamstring, the erector spinae muscles on the right hand side of the spine to the back of our neck. And it's the same with our left foot, it's the same. So we have this big connective tissue sling. So if we can free the foot up, it frees the rest of that sling up. So that's why you might have noticed the difference between the two legs all the way up to the skull. If you didn't notice any difference, that's fine. There's no right or wrong here. And now we'll switch legs, so we'll do the left foot now. Again, coming onto the heel of your left foot and placing the ball underneath the ball of your left foot. Then slowly move backwards and forwards, left and right. Just find out what feels good for you. And you can slowly move move the ball down your foot to the arch of your foot. This might be more sensitive here, so you might want to ease off on some pressure, or if you find a place that it feels like a good discomfort, and with that kind of pleasurable pain, you can ease into that and ease off the pain side of things, and you'll slowly start to feel a release. You may feel some gristly bits in your feet. Just work through them. Just unmatting all the connective tissue that's stuck together over time. Just keep working towards your heel. And again, when you get to your heel, if it's more comfortable for you, you can stand on the block of your right foot. It may help with your balance and getting more pressure. Onto the ball of your foot, onto the heel of your foot even. Just keep breathing naturally here. You're welcome to step off your block and roll the ball underneath your foot, the same as last time, in that big triangle shape. So around the outside of your foot, coming across the ball of your foot, to the inside, and to the heel. You can go in any direction here. Again, move slowly. You may feel some crunching, some gristly bits moving around. Again, you feel free to explore any way you wish. Then rotate in the other direction. And just release that ball. Put your feet hip width apart. And again, we'll take a forward fold. So exhale, and you'll hinge at the hip. Bend your knees. And just allow your arms and head to become heavy, rounding your spine. Just taking your attention to the soles of your feet again. Your calves, your hamstrings. Your back muscles either side of your spine, all the way up to your skull. Just notice how rolling our feet out has loosened and freed up the back. And it's okay if you don't feel any sensations or notice anything yet. This whole practice is an exploration of the body. Just inhale, slowly rolling back up. And then we'll come to take a seated position on the ground. Taking our legs out long and placing the ball of the foot underneath your right calf. You want to come above the the Achilles here. You don't want to go directly on that, so it won't be very pleasant. And from here you can flex and extend your right ankle. You can lean forward, put some pressure on if you wish, lean back. You can rock your leg from side to side. You can roll it from side to side over the ball, so it's rolling across the fibres of your muscle. And you can place the sole of your left foot on the ground and your hands behind. Lift your hips off the mat, and you can just gently roll forward and back in an area. You can come onto the side of your calf, rolling up and down. Coming onto the inside of your calf, rolling up and down. Again, just excuse me. And again, just explore flexing and extending your foot. And then slowly keep working your way towards the top of your calf now. Avoiding the back of the knee, don't go too far. And again, you can come across the fibres. You can rotate at the hip. Find whatever works for you, you can pin and hold. We'll just do some dynamic rolling mainly, but if you want to stop in a space here, then you're welcome to stop. We won't be on the calf for too long. Just an exploration here of the little tight spots that you may have in your calf, the neglected areas. There's so much of the body that we can explore with the therapy balls, but we don't have time to explore everywhere today, and there's some large muscle groups, so we'll do some dynamic rolling across our legs. We'll spend a little bit of time around the hips and the back and the shoulders. So now we can take the ball further up underneath our leg, our hamstring, so you have like a triangle part in the back of your hamstring above your knee. You want to go just above that and not in there. And you can come straight down on the mat. Again, you can flex and extend your ankle. You can roll across the fibres. You can lean forward onto the ball a little bit. Place the sole of your foot on the ground. Do some dynamic rolling. Come onto the outside of your thigh, on the inside. Same as what you did on the calf. Just explore in any way, which way you want to. You're welcome to raise it up as well, so you can place a block underneath you. And placing the ball on top of the block. This will get more into your hamstrings. More of a deeper sensation than just doing it directly on the mat. And again, just explore here. You may feel the ball jumping either side of your hamstring muscle here. If it doesn't feel good, don't do that. If it does, it's a nice release there for the muscle going across the fibres. You can just pin and hold a little bit and just gently rock forward and back if you find a nice little area. Just so you have that pleasurable pain, that nice discomfort. And you can just hold and just keep breathing naturally into that place. And you can kind of roll along the fibres. And just keep working your way up the hamstring. Again, you can do this on the mat if this is more comfortable for you. Flex at the knee. Flex and extend your ankle. Rotate at the hip, coming across the fibres. Rolling backwards and forwards. It should feel nice. Nice release for your hamstrings. They do a lot of work for us. Now we'll come to the top of our hamstring, so move your block out of the way if you have it there. And you want to go into just underneath the fold of where the back of your leg meets your glute. And this might be quite sensitive here, so you can use a softer ball if you wish. And when you find that little spot, you could just have a little move of your leg, just so you find the spot, and you'll start to feel a sweet spot, and it might start getting quite tender. So just ease off and don't go directly into it. But if you wish, you can lean forward, You might feel more pressure on there. You can start to have a little bit of movement. Just be careful if you're going across the fibre. I'd take a lot of weight off it here and just gently move across, just to find the right space and just explore. Again, there's no right or wrong here. The only thing you want to avoid is pain. If it's really hurting and you stop breathing, you feel sharp, like electrical shooting pain, that's when you've hit a big nerve. And again, when you find a nice little spot, just hold it here, just to help release. And then just exhale, just release that off. And we'll switch legs, so we'll go to our left leg now, underneath our left calf. Again, avoiding the Achilles. You want to come just above that. One leg might be different to the other. You might prefer a different movement this time. Just do what feels right for you. Again, you can flex and extend your ankle. You can roll across the fibres. You can just gently move your hips forward and back on your mat. Just rolling nicely. Or you can press your hands into the ground, just press your sole of your right foot into the ground. And lift your hips off. Have more dynamic rolling here, more of a movement across your calf muscle. And again, just keep slowly moving up your calf. Going onto the outside of your leg, the outside of your calf, towards the inside, moving across the fibres. Just do what feels good. You can lean forward and put a bit of pressure on if you find a spot that you wish, or you feel like it needs a little bit more pressure. Just do what feels right for you, do what feels good. And again, if you feel any real discomfort or any real pain, just ease off and move around the area. If you have any injuries, never go directly onto an injury. You always want to move around it, because even if you have an injury, everything around that area tightens up to protect that injury and protect the area. So you can actually release around the injury, and it will help to release the injury itself. Let's move the ball to the hamstring again. Again, where that little triangle part of the hamstring is, just come above that. You can take it down on the mat here. You're welcome to use the block. Again, you don't have to replicate the other side exactly. Just honour each body part as it is. As long as you're keeping your body parts balanced, so you're doing the mirrored muscle, doesn't mean you have to do it the same way. And again here, you can rotate your leg at the hip. You can take it left and right, so you're going across the fibres. You can move your hips forward and back. And just keep moving up the hamstring. Again, we're not spending too long here on the backs of the legs. It's more of just a mindful sweep, a dynamic roll, just to bring some awareness to this part of the body, to bring some release. And again, just keep moving up. Quite a large muscle to do, so there's a lot of exploration here. So to explore it the best you can in this amount of time we have. And as we come to the top of the hamstring, again just underneath where the crease is of our glutes, placing the ball there, removing your block. And again, this could be quite a sensitive place. And if it is, just move to either side of where it's sensitive, or forward or back. And again, if you lean forward, that'll start to put more pressure on the board if that's what you want. If you need to ease off, just lean back, take some pressure off, even just lift your hips up a little bit. You don't really need to find much movement here, it's just moving to find the right spot. So you don't want to do any dynamic rolling here because it's too sensitive. And if you go into areas that are really sensitive and you try and do too much, you just cause more problems than you're trying to solve. And we'll just release the ball from there. And we'll come onto our left hand side. So we're going to do our TFL, our tensor fasciae latae, which is a small muscle here which attaches to our IT band. And the IT band is something that we can't really stretch because it's like a ligament, but releasing the TFL will help to release the IT band. So if you feel tight down the side of your leg, this is what will help. So to find it, it's going to be hard to demonstrate up close, but you'll find the top of your hip bone here, so the top of your crest, and then you'll have the top of your femur, the top of your thigh bone here. So where this distance is here, what you want to do is place a finger in between and then come back a little bit. And there should be a little sensitive area in between where the top of your hip is and the top of your thigh bone, in between, and then just back a little bit. And this is where we're going to place the ball. So again, you might not get it this time, you might not get it after a few goes. It does take a while sometimes. And you want to use a tennis ball for this one, I'd recommend. If you use the other ball, you're very brave. And from here, I'm just going to come to lie on our left hand side. And you might need to move quite a lot here to find the right spot. But when you find it, you'll know you found it just like then, when you pull a little face. And again, just be very careful because this is really, really sensitive. You can place your right hand on the mat just to take a bit of pressure off the hip so you're not directly going onto it. And then when you're here, just breathe. You can take a slower breath in and a deeper breath in. And as you exhale, just relax a little bit. And you'll start to relax over the ball, but the pressure might build and it might become more sensitive. If so, just ease off out of it again. You won't be long here. And again, just move as much as you need to find the right spot. And like I said, if you don't find it this time, that's fine. It's the whole point of doing this practice, is to become more body aware. You might never heard of a TFL before today, so you'd never know where it is. And it is hard to find, and when you do find it and you do release it, it has such good effects on the body. And then you become more body aware and you can start to feel more sensitive to your body, what feels good and what doesn't. And that'll help change your posture, change the way you move, the way you work. And we'll just ease off the ball now, coming onto our right hand side. I'll keep switching around so you can see. And it's the same as last time. So it's the top of our hip bone. Just move this. So it's the top of our hip, the crest here, and the top of our femur, our thigh bone, and coming in between and then back a little bit. There should be a little sensitive spot. And again, taking your arm out long, you can use your hand as a pillow. And just moving a little bit until you find that sweet spot. And again, it's going to be super sensitive, so just find it and then ease off out of it. And again, it might take a few goes just to find out where it is. And again, it's just an exploration of the body. And yeah, you'll know when you're there. Push you'll wince a little bit. And just keep breathing naturally. Again, if this is too painful, just ease off. Move away from the spot. And again, just take some deeper breaths in. And as you exhale, just allow your body to rest. Allow your body to sink over the ball. You'll notice the sensations will increase, the pressure will increase. But if this is too much, then just ease off out of it. As exhale, just release off the ball. Now, before we come to work around the hips, we'll just come back to standing and we'll do a few squats so we can feel what the hips feel like now, see what movement and mobility we have, and then we'll check in again after. So just keep our feet hip width apart and just take a few squats here and just taking your attention to your hips area, to your glutes, the muscles at the front of your hips. And just notice what it feels like, if there's restriction, if it feels a bit resistive, if it feels free, if it feels open. You may notice as we've freed up the legs might feel different now, hopefully a good different. And just take your attention to your hips. Then we'll come back down to a seated position, and again we'll want to use the tennis ball here, and we're going to go into our psoas, so our hip flexors, and to get that it's quite deep inside, so you've got the front of your hip bone here where it comes around, and then you want to come in a little bit towards your belly button, and that's where you're going to place the ball. Now this could be difficult to find again, and it could be sensitive, so just honour your body. So again, it's the front of your hip, placing the ball there, and then rolling onto it. I'll demonstrate with the block it in a moment. And just keep some weight into your arms and your knees and your toes, just in case it's sensitive. And if you bend your right knee, flexing your ankle here, and then just move your foot out to the right, and then bring it back in, you should feel the muscle, the psoas, just pressing against the ball. And just move slowly, see if you can feel that sensation. When you move, you should feel it pressing, so you know you're in the right spot. If you're not, again, just have another feel, the front of your hip bone, coming in a little bit, pressing the ball there, and then coming back into it, and just breathing and relaxing. And again, if you can't quite feel, you need to go deeper, then you can use a block. It's the same process again. Just may need to take a little bit more weight off the ground this time, bending that right knee, and just relaxing. If you bend that knee, just move your leg side to side. You should feel the muscle pressing against it. And when you know you're there, just straighten both legs out, and then just breathe and relax. Just allow the ball to press against the psoas. It's quite a hard muscle to reach and to release. And we can be quite tight in our psoas and our hip flexor because of all the sitting we do at work and the chairs at home. This is a real nice release. If you want some more pressure here, what you can do, you can inhale for the count of 4. So inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 4 and press your hips into the ball a little bit. So you're holding your breath and pressing your hips into the ball for 4. Then exhale, release that pressure for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, you don't have to do this. This is just if it feels comfortable, and you can go that little bit deeper to get the pressure that you need. So just stay where you are. If you need to ease off, ease off. Or if you feel you can go a bit deeper, we'll inhale for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 4 as you press your hip into the ball. And exhale, release that pressure for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then just ease off out of that. And we'll come to the other side. Again, just getting set up in a comfortable way for you. So again, it's the front of your hip bone here, and you want to come in towards your belly button, because right in here is where your hip flexor is. And again, you might want to do it without the block. This might be enough pressure for you. And to check you there, bend that left knee, and take your foot out, and then bringing it back in. You should feel the muscle pressing against the ball. If not, just move around until you find it. If you need to raise the ball up, again, use the block. Just honour your body here, do what's right for you. And again, if you're not quite getting it, that's fine, because what you're doing is you're exploring your body. You're exploring areas of your body that you've never experienced or explored before. And you start to create a new relationship. And this just will keep developing your sensitivity to your body. And not just only with injuries and recovery and maintenance of your body, but the more attuned you come to your body and the more sensitive, you will start to feel and know what's right and what isn't for your body. You'll start to listen and hear the sensations of what your body craves and what it doesn't crave. And it might just start to have influences on what you drink, what you eat, how you move, when you move. But you don't need to change anything for this. It's just an exploration, and let the exploration change you as you move into your practice. Again, just keep breathing here, relaxing over the ball. If the pressure's too much, just come out. Feel free to move as much as you need to find the right spot. But if it feels like you can go deeper and put more pressure, then I invite you to inhale for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 4 as you press your hip into the ball a little bit more. And exhale, release that pressure for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just have a couple of breaths here. Again, you don't need to do this. This is just if you need to go a bit deeper to get to the place where you need. But if you want to do that again, we can inhale for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 4 as you press into the ball. And exhale, release the pressure. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just slowly just roll off the knees off the ball. Now we'll come onto our glutes. So roll over onto your back, placing the soles of your feet on the floor. You might want to change balls here, so I'm going to go for the firmer ball. And if you take your right ankle on top of your left knee and place that ball on your glutes, there's a lot to explore here, it's a big area. And you can just hold and put pressure here. Sorry, I'm on the wrong glute here completely. Keep your right ankle on top of your left knee. And then the ball goes underneath your right glute. Like so. There we go. See, I'm exploring my body as well as we go, which is cool. So yeah, here you can just keep a bit of pressure if it feels good. You can kind of move your body up and down, so you're going across your muscles. Or if you want, you can hold the ball in position and drop both knees to your right. You can bring them back up. Find out what pressure works for you here. And just keep moving the ball around and just explore. You can go in like circular motions. You can do the 4-4-7 breath, which is what we just did, where you inhale for the count of 4, then you hold your breath for the count of 4 as you put more pressure on the ball, and then you'll exhale for the count of 7 as you relax. So that's inhale for 4, holding your breath for 4 as you put pressure onto the ball, then you exhale for 7 as you release. Or you're welcome just to pin and hold, so you just find a nice little spot and you can just hold it there. Just keep breathing naturally. But what I like to do is come onto my hands and have a real good roll out with this, because you've got such a big area with the glutes. And I like to go up and down. This is my favourite spot, to be honest. So you can go all the way up and down your glutes. And it feels good. It might get more sensitive where your muscles insert to the bone, so it'll be kind of at the top of your hips, and especially if you roll over more towards your right hand side, coming onto your glute medius. This for me is quite a sensitive area, but it's a pleasurable pain. It's a good discomfort, and I know once I've done it, I get a real good release, and yeah, it just feels nice. And yeah, you can just move. You can roll side to side, backwards and forwards, pin and hold. Honour your body, do what feels right for you today. What's one person's medicine is another person's poison, so I might be in heaven right now, but you might not be quite enjoying it the same as me. And that's okay. Just honour your body, we're all different. And now we'll just switch legs, take your left ankle on top of your right knee, your right thigh, and placing the ball underneath your left glute. Again, this exploration is for you. It can be different to the other side. You can mix it up here. You don't have to do them both identical. Just on your body, just do what feels right. I know what feels good for me, so I'm going for some big rolls forward and back on the ball. And anywhere that feels a little bit tight, a little bit sensitive, just gently roll the ball around that area, just releasing it. Again, just coming over to that left side, into your glute med. Probably more sensitive than your glute max. So your glute max is the larger muscle on the back of your buttocks, which is what extends your leg backwards. Whereas your glute med and glute minimus are more on the side of your glute areas. There's 3 muscles altogether. And your glute medius and your glute minimus are what externally rotate your leg, and they assist in taking your leg out to the side. They're smaller muscles, but for me they're more sensitive in a good way. I could stay here for quite a long time, to be honest. It's a good area to explore for me, this. But we will come out and explore some more. So we'll just get in at our QL, our quadratus lumborum, which basically attaches from our lumbar spine into our hips. So to do that, you'll feel the top of your hips here, and then you'll find the bottom of your ribs, and there's like an area here where we're going to go in, and then you have the spine going down the middle, and then to the left of that you will have your erector spinae muscles, which go all the way up the back, which we spoke about earlier. So we want to come into this area here. So we don't want to go directly on the bone, on the spine, because that doesn't feel good and it won't really do anything. And you want to come above the hip and below the lowest rib. And if you kind of roll towards your spine, keeping both feet flat on the floor, and then just roll away, that is the erector spinae. So you're going to cross the fibres now. But you can also just take your head off and just gently roll up and down, or you can just rest and relax here. You can take your legs out long if that's too much pressure up there. Just honour your body, do what's right. You can even bring your left knee into your chest and start to give it a squeeze. And this will start to put more pressure on. If you take a large breath into your body, this will start to compress against the ball again, putting pressure. So there's many different ways we can explore here. I know I'm going over them very quickly, which isn't always ideal, but I'm just giving you ways to explore your body, because what feels good for me, which is having the soles of my feet on the floor, taking my hips off and rocking side to side on my erector spinae, it feels good for me, but that might not feel good for someone else. They might just need their legs long, they might like to just bring one leg in and a bit of pressure here. But from here, now we're just easing into the erector spinae and just relaxing the connective tissue and the muscles there. We'll try and target the QL. So if you roll just off to the side of your erector spinae and then try and kind of roll back in and put pressure on. So we've come away from our spine, pressing against the erector spinae, and then we're kind of going to go back into our body. So it's jamming against the side of the muscles and above, if I can explain that the best I can. And just breathe and relax here. And this will help to get the ball to the side and above the erector spinae muscles to get in at your QL. And you can just hold it here and just keep breathing. This can be quite a lot of pressure. Again, just on your body, do what's right for you. You won't stay too long here because it can be quite a tender area. So if you need to have any movement, you're welcome to have some movement as well. I'll just exhale, release out of that. So we'll switch sides now. So taking the ball to the right hand side of your spine now. And again, you have the options of having your soles, your feet flat on the floor, lifting your hip, and just rolling your hips side to side. So the ball's rolling across the fibres of your back muscles. You can lift your head off and just press your feet into the ground. Your hips coming up and down, rolling with fibres. Again, you can take your legs long if that's too much for you. And just take deep breaths and breathing into the ball. You can bring your right knee in, and just squeeze and hold. And again, you can just gently move from one side to the other. Like I said, there's so many different ways you can explore your body, and there's so many different areas, and really there's so many different topics or places we can just explore on our own. I'm trying to give you a big overview so you have more body awareness, and we start to learn about the body, and we can start to give it the maintenance and the TLC that it needs. Okay, so from here, we're just going to roll off to the right hand side of our erector spinae and then put the pressure on. So again, it's rolled off to the side of our muscle and we're pressing the pressure back into it to get into our QL. And this might be enough, so we'll just hold here. You can probably have some small movement if that feels good for you. And just exhale, release, moving the ball to one side. And we'll make our way up slowly back to standing, and we'll do a few squats again. So again, taking the attention to our hip area, to our glutes, what we've worked on with the hip flexors. Obviously did the TFL before that. and the QL. And again, just take a few squats. If you notice any different, you might feel a bit more freer, you might have more mobility, there's less friction, less resistance. You might not feel anything at all. You might feel unusual because we've been prodding and poking areas that you're not used to, but it's all good. Just as long as we're having positive kind of benefits from what we're doing, and these balls are making a difference. That's the whole idea of this. And then we'll just make our way back to a seated position, or lying down on the ground. Keep the soles of our feet there, and just bring our heels in, so we can touch our heels with our hands, and our feet are hip width apart. And we'll just inhale, tuck our tailbone up. As we exhale, just press our hips to the sky, just engaging these muscles that we've been working on with the glutes, the hamstrings, lower back. Just give them a bit of activation. Let's do 3 like this. Exhale, pressing up, and exhale, releasing down. We don't need to go too far here or too crazy. Just a bit of muscle, just a bit of movement, a bit of activation. Now we're going to start to work into our back. So again, use whatever ball is appropriate for you. So we're going to work along our erector spinae muscles, which come along the back here, in between our spine and our shoulder blades. So we'll have our trapezius, our rhomboids, and the trapezius comes up to here, across here, and our supraspinatus. So we're going to come to this area shortly. So before we do that, we'll sit up. And we'll just have some arm movements, so we'll check in now and we'll check in afterwards. So, pardon me, from here we can take our arms, just wrap them together like this. And then exhale, taking them wide. And this time coming the opposite way, whichever hand was up above, taking below this time. And taking our arms back. And taking our arms up above our head. And just notice what movement we have, what restrictions, and back down. Inhale above our head, and back down. Just interlace our hands behind our back, palms together, press away. Just opening our chest. You're welcome to lean forward and take your arms above your head a little bit here. Again, just taking the attention to the front of your chest, because we're going to go into our pecs as well. And coming back up, we can take our right arm underneath our left, pressing our palms together, or the backs of our hands, holding fingers, whatever's comfortable for you. And just press our elbows into each other. Just notice what our shoulders feel like, the back of our shoulders and neck. And then switch arms, left arm underneath our right, hands together, or backs of our hands holding fingers. Wherever you are, press your heels in together. Your heels, your elbows. I don't know body parts today. Just open that chest. Just feel what it feels like in your shoulders, your chest. And exhale, release. Just make a mental note of how that felt, any restrictions, any tightness, lack of movement and mobility. So here we will take whichever ball is comfortable for you, and we're going to come, so it's like the bottom corner of our shoulder blade. So it's in between our shoulder and our spine. So it's like our erector spinae muscles, our rhomboids, and making our way towards our trapezius. And again, you can just hold and breathe here. You might want to use a softer ball if that's better for you. You can take your legs out long, keep the soles of your feet on the floor. Just work with what feels good for your body. You can wrap both arms around each other. Again, this can be quite sensitive. You can rock from side to side. Just honour your body, moving what feels good for you. If you wish, you can rest your head on a block. That feels good for you. I like to place the soles of my feet on the floor, just to ease off so I can change the pressure as I need. And I like to kind of just wiggle my back a little bit on the ball, just moving in between that gap between my shoulder blade and my spine. And then just shuffle yourself down so the ball is coming high up your shoulder blade now. And again, you can hold your opposite arms, find stillness, you can move, the legs can be straight or bent, just honour your body. You can wiggle like me, or just find some stillness. And just keep working your way as you're coming up the shoulder now. If this is too much on the rubber ball, change to the tennis ball or softer ball. And then now we're going to come to this muscle on the top of our shoulder. So it's our trapezius and our supraspinatus is here. So we're going to wedge the ball in on that, underneath that muscle. And this might be plenty. Again, have the legs in whatever position feels comfortable for you. And this should be wedged underneath that muscle on top of your shoulder. If this feels like it's enough, then you can stay here. If you wish, you can inhale as you lift your arm up. If this feels okay, you can exhale and just take that arm above your head. Really get into that muscle now, releasing it. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale, taking your arm back down. Feel free to move like this a few times. Just move slowly, you can hold. If it feels good in one place, you don't have to keep moving. So from here, we're going to get into our rotator cuff. So it's the part on the back of our shoulder here. So you might want to go for the softer ball on this one. And to find it, you follow your armpit crease up here. And you place the ball at the back of that. Now this will be super sensitive. And again, it's one of them places where you might need to just wiggle to find the right spot. But once you're there, you will certainly know that you're there. And you might need to move away from the area. Just move near it and you'll be super sensitive. Like my eyes just winched, so I'm there. And yeah, that's sensitive. So again, just take as much pressure off as you need. Use a block underneath your head. Use a pillow or place your hand there. Again, we won't spend long here because it is a sensitive part and we just want to release, not aggravate it. We don't want to upset it. And just as simple as the ball pressing in at this, in the muscle, it releases the fascia around the muscle and all the associated fascia around, and it helps to release any tightness. It's giving it a massage, it's stretching the muscle, because we can often stretch our muscles as we do in larger places, but there's areas in that muscle that we can't always stretch in our yoga class or in any sort of movement classes. So with therapy balls like this, we can get in at some really small targeted areas that never really get a stretch, and it stretches the muscle, stretches the connective tissue, creates more freedom. And the connective tissue as well is what transfers nutrients. We'll just come out of here, I'm going to keep talking otherwise, just ease off out of that. And we'll come round to our pecs now. So we're going to place the ball underneath our collarbone in the corner here where it meets the shoulder, and we're going to work our way across the top of the pecs. So I'll spin this way so you can see first. So stand on the same side of the shoulder we've just done. We'll work up this one side and then we'll swap to the next. So you can place the ball here underneath your collarbone, your scapula. And you can place your head on the ground. You can use a block if you wish. In your left arm, you place the back of your hands on the lower back and lift your elbow up. You can take pressure into that ball. I'm going to use the firmer ball here because the tennis ball isn't quite doing it for me. Again, just honour your body and just rock from side to side. You can place your toes on the ground, you can press into your toes so you're moving up and down now on the ball. You can lift your arm higher, move it round more. You can lean into it, find more pressure, rock from side to side. And then slowly move the ball across your chest, across your pec. Just releasing that muscle. This is another
muscle that often gets neglected and does a lot of work. Our pecs. Again, if you find a nice little spot, you're welcome to stay there. Just exhale, release. And now just roll back onto our back now, to our right hand side, even things out. Again, you might need to swap the ball, do what's comfortable for you. And we'll place it in between the lower part of our right shoulder and our spine. Again, this side might be different to the other. You can have your legs out long, feet on the floor, you can wrap your arms, find stillness, find some movement. Just honour your body, do what's right for you. Personally, I like to have my arms on the ground, my feet on the ground, and just find the little wiggles, just find the little knots, all the parts that are stuck together. And just slowly keep working your way up the spine. So not up the spine, but between the spine and the shoulder blade, on your rhomboids, your trapezius, your rectus spinae muscles. So as I was saying about the fascia, it's what covers all our muscles, our individual muscle fibres. It covers muscles themselves, groups of muscles. It covers organs and tissues, and it's all connected, it's all linked, and it transfers water, nutrients, oxygen and waste in and out of tissues. And if we don't have movement in muscles or between muscles, it can stick together, and when it sticks together there's no transfer of the nutrients, there's no transfer of waste, there's no transfer of water or oxygen, there's no signals flowing. So this is why you can lose some sensitivity to your body. Just keep moving the ball up. And this is why you can lose sensitivity of your body, and rather than seeing little niggly pains early on, you only notice when there's a huge pain and a huge liberating problem, because you missed all the subtle signs, because that area is probably stuck together and there's no signals flowing, so you probably can't feel what's going on. So the more we can free that up, because the connective tissue is 2/3 water and it transfers signals through the water, it's an electrochemical signal, so it helps our body talk to each other, well, our body parts talk to other body parts. And in this way we have a better relationship with our body, a better understanding. Just moving the ball now to the muscle on the top of your shoulder, wedging it underneath. And again, you can find some stillness here. If you wish, if you did last time, you can inhale, take your arm up, and exhale, take it down, only if it feels good for you. You can hold it here if you wish, you can come quarter of the way up, you can just find whatever movement works for you. So yeah, as we develop a better relationship with our body, we have a better relationship with our mind, we can spot the early signs of pain and discomfort, and we can avoid or adjust what we do. We don't need to stop doing things we enjoy, we can just do them in a better, improved way, you know? And it doesn't matter today if you get to the right spots or not, or you're unsure about this and that, or if it's not really doing anything. It's a whole exploration journey of your body, and it will make a difference the more you do it, and the more you explore, and the more TLC and maintenance that you can give your body. Okay, so we'll come to our rotator cuff now, which again, you follow the line of your armpit up here. And this is going to be super sensitive, rolling over onto your side, and just finding that sweet spot, and probably needing to move out of the way of it once you've got there. Again, you can rest your head on the block if it's nearby, and just breathe here. And again, if you get into any areas there's some real sharp shooting pains, there's feels like an electrical pain, or there's like numbness going on, then you've hit a big nerve, and just move out of the way of it. And if you stop breathing, you're holding your breath, or if you're pulling faces, you know that you're not in the right place, and your body's telling you to move for a reason. So just listen to your body and honour it, and just work with that pleasurable pain. Work with the good discomfort. And we'll just ease off out of that. We're spending long there. And we'll come onto our pet again. The ball underneath your scapula, your collarbone, into the top of your shoulder. And just coming to lie down onto it. Placing the back of your hand on your lower back. And again here, just move however feels good for you. You can pin and hold and just keep breathing. You can do the 4-4-7 breath if that feels good. Inhaling for 4, hold your breath for 4 while you put pressure on. And then you exhale for 7 as you relax. You can lift your arm up, move your arm around. Tuck your toes and press your body up and down. And just find out what feels good for you. I quite like little dynamic rolls or wiggles, or going around in a circle and moving backwards and forwards. I always find that works good for me and for my body. There's some areas where I just like to hold. It just depends. And this changes over time, depending on how you're feeling and how the body's feeling. You don't always need to spend long in each area. Sometimes it can just be a small release. Sometimes it feels good to stay there longer. But even if you're only there for a short period of time, something is better than nothing. As long as you're doing something good for your body. Let's just exhale, release. And we'll make our way back up to a seated position. And we'll do some of them arm movements again, see if we can feel any difference in the movement and the freedom of our arms. So again, we can wrap our arms around each other. Does this feel any different from when we did it before? The therapy work, taking our arms out, bringing our arms back in, opposite way this time, and taking our arms back, lifting them up, back down, and up, and then back down, taking our right arm underneath our left, our hands wherever is comfortable, and again pressing your elbows into each other, lifting your elbows here in line with your shoulders. Does this feel a lot freer and open, and do you feel like you have more mobility and freedom now in this? Because I certainly do. And we'll switch, left arm below right, again lifting elbows in line with shoulders. I don't feel so crunched up and so tight. I feel more open in the chest, more open in the back and the shoulders. It feels good. So I know it's working for my body. It might be different for yours, but hopefully you have the same. And now we'll come to our last position. And I like to use the block, but I'll show you another way first. You have two muscles here running down the back of where you have various muscles, but underneath your occipital bone, so the W-shaped thing, you can place a ball under one side, bringing the block quite close to your neck, and you can rest the ball underneath that little lump, your occipital bone, and you can just hold it here. You can find some little movements from left to right, but go very carefully and very slowly here because it can be sensitive. And then once you've done that, switch to the other side. But personally, I like to use the block. So bring it up on its side, so it might be difficult to show you with this on, but it's like that. So basically, this line here is going across my neck muscles. And in doing this, I don't think this is going to work. In doing this, this is pressing into my neck muscles. And then from here, very slowly, I can turn my head to the left. So I was going to take this thing off because I can't do it. Take my head to the left, and you feel the block or your neck rolling across the corner of this block, rolling across all the muscle fibres that attach to the back of your skull. And this feels really good for me. The other way for me with the ball, it doesn't feel so good. It feels uncomfortable. It just doesn't sit right. And I have less control over it because the ball can easily move, but some people prefer that method. So it's just how everyone's body is different. And again, just move around to find out how the best place for you. And again, you want to move slowly here. You should feel good. I can feel the block moving across all the muscle fibres on my neck as I move very slowly. It's a nice massage and nice release for all them fibres, the fascia. If you had the ball underneath one side of your occipital bone, you can place it underneath the other side now. Just close down your eyes. Find stillness if you want stillness. If you're moving, move slowly and carefully. And just gently release the neck, so release the block, release the ball. Sorry if that was a bit noisy with the mic, but it's hard to do it with the tongue. And just relax your head on the mat, hands by your side, palms facing up, shoulders open, feet as wide as the mat. Now with your eyes closed, breathing naturally, we'll do the same scan as we did earlier, starting from the soles of our feet, moving our way up the legs, our torso, shoulders, our hands, our arms, our neck. Just move your attention across your body. Notice how the soles of the feet feel different from when we started. Our calf muscles, our hamstrings. For me, they feel a lot freer, they're a lot wider, like looser, more movement. My glute muscles feel more relaxed, not so tight around my hips. Feels like there's a nice release in my back, especially my shoulders and chest. Just keep breathing, keep exploring. Just slowly start to move your fingers and your toes and have a little bit of movement in your body now. You can roll over to your right hand side when you're ready and slowly making your way up to a seated position. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, my friends, and hopefully you've released a lot of tension in the body, a lot of tension in the muscles, the fascia, and also emotional releases, because we don't just store physical tension in our body from movement or lack of movement. Our emotions, stresses, they store in certain areas, especially our hips and our shoulders. So it's nice and our neck, it's nice to have these releases. So you might feel a release on a psychological level, an emotional level, as well as a physical level, which is what we're aiming for here. So I hope you enjoyed it, my friends, and thanks for practicing with me.